Hello everyone. Okay, so this video is going to be kind of all over the place, but I just wanted to do like a real general update for journaling, pens that I'm currently using, and journal preferences, because I get asked a lot. And so I thought this would be a good opportunity to share that with you. So first of all, my really, really thoughtful, wonderful, sweet partner gifted me this giant roll of tape. This is for my journal collage covers, which in the past I have been using, regular masking tape and having to do at least 2 strips to cover the whole front. And so that leaves me with this little line down the middle, a seam. And so he decided to surprise me with this, which will cover the entire cover, and there will be no seams. So that's really exciting. I also found a new magazine, January 1950, Utah, Land of Color, at an antique store, and intend to use this for collaging. I have looked through this book a couple of times now, and have yet to muster up the courage to use these things as a collage for my collage, because these pictures are just so gorgeous. I love the colors. I love the subject. It's just everything about this book is just absolutely magnificent, and it's really hard to muster up the courage to chop into it. But I have been using vintage Arizona Highways magazines for my collage covers predominantly, and I had those for at least a year before I cut into them, because again, they were so beautiful, and it seemed just really challenging to cut into them. But finally I was like, I have these, that's what they're for, they're going to waste, not being used, and so I finally cut into them. So hopefully I will muster up that courage real soon. But I'm very excited about that. I think this is going to be super fun to collage with. I also wanted to share a little package that I got from a wonderful friend who I actually met in the doll hobby many years ago, who goes by the name of Gina is Arty on Instagram. I'll post a link down below to that. And she is an incredible artist, and I want to say I've already used one of her stickers, so unfortunately I cannot share it with you. But I am so drawn to her art. I love how whimsical it is. I love the colors. She often incorporates fish, but just animals in general into her artwork, and in really magical ways. And I just really love her approach and her technique and just her style. I really love her artwork, and I dream of owning an original piece from her someday. But every once in a while she releases stickers, and when she does, I'm super excited. And so I ordered some stickers from her, and I wanted to pass this information along because I know so many of you really appreciate stickers as well, and you should check her out. But with the stickers, she sent me a little package, and it was just so thoughtful, because it's like, first of all, this is a magazine cutout from Glacier. Glacier is in my favorite state, Montana, which Utah is also one of my favorite states, and New Mexico, and I have a list of favorites, but Montana is a place that I dream of moving to one day. Anyways, so that was just really wonderful to see, and again, these are the things that I can use to collage with, which is just so exciting. And I love these women and their little outfits in this beautiful wilderness. And so yeah, just a lot of really thoughtful things. This will be super fun to collage with too. Goats, mountain goats are one of my favorite animals, and so it's like, I love it. I'm really hyper right now. I've been well, it has been a crazy year, and it has been a crazy couple of days here in the United States with our presidential election happening. it's been really scary, actually. I've never had so many scared thoughts before, and it's not over yet. And I think that there's still a potential for some really horrible things to happen. But for today, I am relieved, to say the least, and feeling a little tiny sparkle of hope, which is not something that I have felt in a long while. So that is nice. And it has left me feeling a little like, like all over the place. I also have 4 fountain pens currently inked up, and I just wanted to share them with you real quick. Okay, so first of all, we have the Pilot Custom 823 with a fine nib, and this has diamine Odonil in it. And if I had to recommend a single gold-nibbed fountain pen to any one person right now, it would be this pen. This is the one pen that has blown me away for so many years now. I've had it for at least 2, maybe 3 years now, and it is the only pen that made me gasp out loud when I first wrote with the nib. It is just such a beautiful nib. I have not experienced a nib anywhere near it since receiving that pen. And it also is a vac filler, so it has a huge carrying capacity, and it's just really well built. I love that pen. So anyways, in that Pelican that I was just writing with, that's actually not ancient copper, it's rustic brown. I made a mistake. But this one is really exciting because this is my Sailor Professional Gear Mini that I have custom ground myself to be an italic nib or a stub nib. It is, actually, I guess it's more stubbish because it's not very slicey like a cursive italic, a true cursive italic. But I'm really proud of it. It writes and it works really well and it's smooth and it does exactly what I was wanting it to do. So I'm glad that I took that chance. Okay, and then the last thing that I wanted to talk about in this video was why I love the Leuchtturm 1917 journals so much. Someone asked me recently, and I thought this was a really good question. Now that I have been collaging all of my journal covers and essentially hiding the whole aesthetic of this Leuchtturm journal, will I decide to use a less expensive journal or an alternative from the Leuchtturm? And my answer to that was no, because it's not just the overall look of the Leuchtturm that I appreciate so much, but so many different little things that come together to create, for me, what my favorite perfect journal. And I haven't found anything that matches this yet. Am I looking? Of course, always. I love journals, and I've tried so many different journals, lots of Tomoe River paper journals with different bindings. I've tried Midori, I've tried Hobonichi, and so on and so forth, but I just keep going back to the Leuchtturm. I actually really enjoy the paper. I like the texture of it. It's not smooth like Rhodia or Clairefontaine or Tomoe River paper even. It has just a little bit of grit, and it's a little bit thicker, I would say closer to the Midori paper. And it is fountain pen friendly. Is it the most fountain pen friendly paper? No, definitely not. But it is really adequate for my purposes, and I write primarily with fine, extra fine, some cursive italics, and so I'm not writing with a lot of ink or, heavy, super juicy pens. Even my Pelican, which is a very juicy pen and puts down a lot of ink, the paper is fine. It doesn't bleed, it doesn't feather. Now, some inks do. I've had with the document inks by Diatramentis and the Kala Nostalgia ink, which is also a permanent ink. I find that this paper does not do well with those inks, and they do tend to bleed a little bit through the paper and feather a little bit. But for the most part, I don't experience bleeding or feathering, and so I really like this paper. I also really like the ruling. I'm a tiny writer, and so having the smaller spacing is really ideal for me. I really like having the page numbers And even though I rarely have a use for them, I really appreciate them being there. And I think I would really miss not having them. And sometimes I do reference a particular page. And I also like knowing where I'm at in the journal when I reach halfway, or how many pages I've gotten in, through in a week or so. I like the hardcover. I just have not enjoyed the softer covers, even though I like the way they feel. I like the flexibility of it. I tend to write everywhere. And sometimes I don't have a hard surface to write upon, and so it's really nice having a harder surface to rely on when I'm maybe out hiking and, writing on my knee. I like this feature a lot. I like having this little elastic band that closes up the journal. I just think it makes it look really nice and tidy, and I don't worry about it flying open. And I love the bookmarks. I like that there's 2 of them. I like the design of them, and I like the material that they used. The Midori, Rhodia notebooks and some other notebooks that I've experienced, I find that the ribbons or the bookmarks tend to unravel and fall apart rather quickly, and these ones have proved really durable. So I'm happy with them. I also like the little, I probably don't have it anymore in here. No. This is a little messy, but every Leuchtturm comes with stickers for the spine and for the front cover if you choose, or somewhere else. And I really like that. And I use those stickers to archive my journals. So all of these different factors, oh yeah, and I really like having a pocket, and I do use those pockets. I put little things that I find when I'm in that journal, and I store them back there to have it's like little secret treasures of found objects that fit, of course. And so I like that as well. So anyways, all of these different factors culminate into a journal that I really, really like. This is a pocket sized, it's really small, and they have A5 size. They have other sizes as well, but they're not hardcovers. And so for me, that's just not something that I really want. So here is the A5 and the pocket, just to give you a sense of the scale. A5 is what I wrote in for years, the A5 Leuchtturm. It was only more recently that I've been really enjoying the pocket size. But I love this journal. So I hope that is helpful to any of you looking for your own perfect journal. And thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay sane. Happy writing, everybody.